Hey everyone, welcome back to Runway HQ's The Swerve Startup Grassroots Show. I'm your host Brandon Burns, and with me on the couch is special guest from Upstate Studios, Gail Asbell. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Good to be here.
Oh, it's unreal. It's great to have you here. I've admired your business from afar for quite a while now, and given that we've got you coming in as our very special guest for our Clever and Creative event on the 18th of September,
Yep.
I thought it'd be great to get you in and really delve further into your story, your journey, and really try and share, what you've learned along the way with our startup audience here in Geelong and abroad. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do that.
yeah, it's good to have you here. And so maybe what we'll do is we'll kick off with, you can tell me about your journey, sort of when you sort of started Upstate and what sort of led you to starting.
Yeah, sure. So we started 10 years ago. So my sister and I own and operate Upstate. We just started a few blocks away from here in Yarra Street.
Awesome.
As a yoga studio. So I guess we'd always probably played around with the idea of having a business, just didn't know in what, and we had lots of ideas. I ended up taking a corporate path and was working in branding.
Yeah, wow.
And my career was going, really well. I was travelling overseas and on a good salary and had a nice team and good budget. And I guess I just didn't feel quite fulfilled personally. And at the same time, my sister was suffering a lot of back pain. And then we actually lost our brother in a car accident.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
That was like just a real turning point for me to question the path that I was on. And at that time, I also started to practice yoga. And I just had, such an amazing, profound experience from it, fell in love with it. Eventually our passion for yoga and our whole desire to have a business kind of collided.
Yeah.
And at that stage, over 10 years ago, yoga was kind of quite hippie.
Yeah, totally.
It also, was probably not run, boutique studios weren't a thing.
Yep.
So we sort of saw the opportunity to really create a business that I guess made yoga quite contemporary and accessible for people.
Yeah.
And the rest is kind of history. So we opened up in 2009 and now we have 3 studios, one in Melbourne, one Torquay and one here.
Wow.
And a team of 54 teachers, and I think
54?
Yeah.
Wow. And are you still teaching?
Yeah, I still teach.
Occasionally,
yeah,
yeah.
Actually, I don't teach as much yoga anymore. I teach more Pilates.
Yeah, right.
So the business has evolved over the years. So I think we have about 250 classes a week. So it's been a journey from like a little side hustle that's just kept growing. Yeah, which is really exciting.
So you're a 10-year-old startup.
Yeah, that's right.
and tell me, right, before I ask you this tricky question we've been talking about, I do have to, just comment on a couple of things I've seen with your business that are just so cool. Number one is great website, incredibly functional and really, it grabs your attention and it gets you doing what it needs you to do. The app as well. Tell me about this app that you have, what it does and what inspired you to go, this is something we need.
Yeah, well, I think the app, I think that everyone has, mobile digital first, because more people are using mobile phones than desktops increasingly. And so for our classes, to book your classes in, people were doing it on our website until we got our app. So now we've got an app that you can book your classes, manage your membership. A lot of our classes get booked out, so they have wait lists, so you can see where you are on the wait list. It's just really user friendly, and I guess our philosophy has always been, when we started the business, how can we make this as easy as possible for people to come to our business? And certainly when we started 10 years ago, yoga used to be by the term. You had to book a term of classes.
Yeah.
There wasn't a casual drop-in rate. And that was one of the first things we wanted to make sure we had no level 1s, no level 2s, no terms. Just make it accessible, drop in, come as you want, and just make it easy. Yeah. And the app absolutely does that. People love the app.
Yeah, well, I can attest. My wife uses Upstate and goes and uses the app, and one thing I've noticed is that there's that real fear of missing out on the time and the session that you want to go to. And I guess that's great for the business. But on the upside, I'd be interested to know, have you seen an increase in people's attendance and sticking to a booking they've made because there's that facility in place where you can miss out if you don't commit?
Yeah, 100%. People get organised, And I think that everyone is just so busy that it's very easy for fitness to drop off your list.
Yep.
And so when people book it in and they're like, tomorrow morning, I'm doing this at 6 a.m, I've booked my class, they tend to do it. So I think the booking app system works really well for people to be a bit more disciplined.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, for startups listening, what a great example of building empathy for your client and solving a painful problem that they're having by introducing the app and starting with the website, transitioning to the app. It sounds like you've got a really good handle on your type of client that comes to the studio and what they need. And also with the app, I mean, with push notifications as well, because we're always adding more classes. Yep. So we can always send out a push notification to let people know, new class added tomorrow. So it's just such an easy way to communicate with our clients. Yep. Love it. Awesome. Okay, so here's that question we talked about. What's maybe one key piece of advice that you've either been given or you've heard someone else being given that you really maybe wouldn't give someone in hindsight? Yeah, I think the one for me that comes to mind is hire for experience. Yep. And, especially, in the category I'm in, but I think in any category, we tend to think the most experienced person is the right person for the job. Yep. So I 100% believe hire for passion and personality. Wow. And cultural fit. Mm-hmm. I've been teaching yoga for 15 years. I'm really confident that, everyone's got to have their qualifications. They've got to be certified. Yeah. But, I've got 100% confidence that I can teach you how to teach an awesome yoga class. Yeah. But if you're not the right cultural fit and don't have the passion and don't buy into our core values, then it's never going to work. Great. So that's a really big process for us on our recruitment, that we really, ask questions to try to really understand what people's aspirations are, but what their core values are, and make sure they're aligned with ours. Yep. And, when we're all on in sync with our, mission, then, we just kick goals. Yeah. Yep. Hallelujah to that. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest one, because especially when you start out, you think that experience is everything. Yeah. And, and it's not, and it's a real, we love it. We really work as a big team. We always say, no one's the best teacher. Just because you've been teaching 10 years, I'm no better teacher than the brand new teacher who steps in the door. We've all got something to offer, and we're all going to bring a different mindset to the table and different ideas, and we're just a big team, and if we work together and just, working towards the same goals, then, it's win-win for everyone. Beautiful. Yeah. So tell me, right, on the topic of social media, which you'll be our special guest talking about on the 18th, talk to me about the impact it's had on your business, ways in which you've leveraged it, and perhaps some things that maybe you've chosen, maybe not to do with social media, which others do, and just the landscape of how it's affected your business. Yeah, well, so I guess when we first started, because we have been around 10 years, it wasn't there. Yeah. So, look, it's definitely had a massive impact on our business, for sure. I think the category we're in of fitness, it can be really intimidating for people to come and try a fitness class. It's true. So our biggest referral has always been word of mouth. Mm-hmm. And I see social media as the biggest way to amplify word of mouth there ever has been. Cool. Yeah. So, user-generated content and, Google reviews and, all these aspects of social media that, in effect, really powerful word of mouth has definitely boosted, people confidence to come and try our business. Yep. So I think that's been one of the biggest things, but also the community, because, I guess our brand has always been about, it's not more than just the classes. This is about creating a lifestyle that you love and connecting with other people. And through our social media, we really get to celebrate our clients. Mm-hmm. So we have, when a client does a milestone class, so we count out when they've done 50 classes, 100 classes, 250. We just had someone yesterday do their 1,000th class. Really? So we celebrate their success. How long did it take them to get to 1,000? I don't know. He's in there a bit, so I don't know how long it took him. But and it's amazing. It's amazing achievement for them. And so we really celebrate that sort of thing on social media. So we'll get a photo of them and a little quote. So it's a great way to celebrate our community. And it's a great way to celebrate our instructors. So always profiling instructors. Awesome. And I think in terms of that intimidation of coming to a fitness class, social media just really gives you that avenue to put video clips of what it's like in studio. Yep. So it's really trying to break down all the barriers that may prevent someone from coming in and giving it a go. Yeah, so they get to see, they get to meet the instructors through little meet videos that are meet your teacher, and so I guess just really breaking down a lot of those barriers to make it less intimidating. Yeah. Cool. So given the nature of your business, you've got I think you said 54 instructors. Yeah. And you're in business with family and sister. Yeah. Talk to me about the components and the ingredients that go into having a really successful, high-functioning team, and how you've made working with your sister such a success. Yeah. Well, look, we love working together. Everyone always is curious about how that goes, but we've never come to grief or had a big argument at all in the whole time. Yeah. But look, we're definitely a big culture of feedback. Mm-hmm. And so, with our clients, but also importantly with our team.
So we're always meeting with our teachers, offering feedback on their class experience.
Yep.
And they're always providing us with feedback as well. So I think that culture of feedback just really leads to an open workplace, lots of communication, and continuous improvement. And as I said before, like, we really rally as a team.
Yep.
And I think that just makes everyone very open to not being judged. That we're all here to, provide the best experience we can, and we're all learning, we're all improving all the time. There's you learn through your failures as well. If anything, something comes up that's, gone a bit astray, that's fine too. Like, we all just live and learn and move on pretty quickly too. So, and also, I guess, as I said before, in just terms of how we've employed for culture, is that, I guess we're mission obsessed is what we say internally, getting really clear on the why. And I think when everyone knows their why, they just deliver the how.
Yeah.
Write
that down. That was beautifully delivered. That was great.
So that's probably the biggest thing, is we're always communicating what our mission is. And when we're giving feedback, it always comes back to the mission, This is what our values are. Did that meet the values? Do we think we could have done better in this area? How could we live into that value a bit more? So I think that, that's been the success to having such a big team and all, all working along so well.
That's great. Yep. So tell me about your thoughts on where you think social media is heading and where potentially you'd like to see it go.
Okay.
Or, and maybe even beyond that, your views with regards to whether it's a platform that you try to limit your time spent on, or you try to really be conscious of the effect it may or may not have on you.
Yeah.
Look,
it's just changing all the time. It's social media. It's pretty hard to keep up with. Yeah. But look, I think definitely, the things that seem to be direction it's going in at the moment is definitely, what you've been doing really well, is the video content.
Yep.
And as I said, just being that digital first platform. I saw even, I think just this week, they're talking about IGTV is now being embedded into, websites and being embedded into blogs. So I think definitely videos, the direction it's going. But for me personally, I think that that connection of one-to-one should never be lost.
Yep.
And I think that's how Instagram kind of started, as trying to be a social platform first.
Yep.
And that we can never, overvalue the potential of just that one-to-one connection. And I think as long as you're always developing a strategy that's about creating connection with your clients, you're always going to win on social media.
Gotcha. Whatever
way that is, whether it's video or whatever changed the algorithm.
I can hear the corporate branding experience coming out. I really can.
I think if you're always developing a strategy that's about creating connection, then you're always going to win on those social media platforms.
Yep, beautiful.
And I think it can be just really overwhelming for a lot of small businesses to work out. There's so many different channels and there's so many changes. Totally. You can just get kind of overwhelmed and start to do social media for the sake of doing it, and forget, like, why am I doing this?
Have you sort of become, I know Instagram's probably big for your type of business, but what about like a Twitter or a Facebook? Is it less?
Facebook's still really good for us. We've always been on Facebook, in a different way for our events. Things like events on Facebook seem to work really well for us, and that's our two main channels. We were on Pinterest, but that just didn't seem to be of interest. And I think if you're going to be on a channel, you want to be doing it well.
Doing it well, correct.
So we've just really stayed focused on those two channels, and they do work really well for us. And, even with Facebook, we've done a bit when we have challenges. We have a Facebook group for everyone participating in a challenge.
Yeah, wow.
So that's sort of a community within a community.
Yeah.
And that's gold. People love that because they're all talking about, I'm doing this class, my mat's pink, come say hello. I did this class, it was really whatever, talk about food, what you should eat, we've been doing all these classes, what's everyone eating, sharing recipes, and, so we love seeing that, because that's really building that community. And for us, I guess part of our big strategy for social is how can we keep this connection with our clients once they've left our bricks and mortar. We're a bricks and mortar business, but once they've left and they're at home, how can we still be connecting with these guys and being relevant to them? And social media is, I guess, the pathway for that.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so tell me, right, as we all know, most businesses, the danger period's the first 12, 18 months. Can you recall back over the 10 years when you may have had a period of time where you're like, why am I doing this? Or maybe not why am I doing this, but, it's more challenging than I anticipated at one point in time, or... Because on the outside, I must admit, your business looks like it's thriving.
Yeah.
It looks like it's growing. It's very it's got a great approach to growth. It looks like you've made some really good decisions.
Yeah.
But was there ever a point where you're like, wow, this is becoming a bit of a challenge, or wow, I didn't expect that?
Yeah, look, I think definitely over the years, there's always, there's been lots of challenges along the way. I think for a lot of businesses, it's kind of that third year in business that's a bit of a point. The first year, there's so many milestones that you're kind of excited about, and there's usually, a lot of, big launch period, and it's new news, so everyone's checking it out. And then that second year, you're really looking into more your processes and your systems and your profitability. And then that third year is kind of then retention of staff, and so it's always kind of changing. We definitely felt like for us in our third year, we're like, right, we're really in business now. We're here to stay.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely within those times, we've had periods that have been challenging for different reasons. I guess we've really evolved our business. At one stage, we had a retail store.
Yeah, right. I think I remember that.
Store. Yeah, at another stage we had a pressed juices bar.
Yeah.
So, we've had a crack at a few different things.
Yeah, good on you.
But we quickly, we did learn from that when you try and diversify too much, it's really hard to stay focused.
Yep.
And we were trying to run, these other different businesses, and kind of were losing our core business. So once we closed those down and refocused back on our core business as a studio, which is kind of what we love the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just found that passion came back to us, and we got really focused again. And since then, there's been a definite shift in the business and success too. So I think that's one lesson. I can get a bit carried away if the grass is greener and shiny new objects,
Well, there's good margins in pressed juice, isn't there?
Yeah, apparently. Got to sell a lot.
Yeah.
And you throw out a lot that don't sell.
You must have drank a lot of juice at one stage,
I was a green juice lady. But yeah, so I think that once you've been in business for a little while, it is easy to kind of get distracted because you're looking for a bit of change yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess staying focused on what is that vision, why do we start in the first place, and keeping on coming back to that was a lesson we did learn. That was around probably year 5 for us.
Yeah.
And since we've really come back to, getting more clear and focused, it has been more successful. So that's been a good lesson to learn.
Last question, biggest achievement to date on this journey, and it doesn't have to be business necessarily, it could be personal, it could be something we're not expecting, but what would you feel is the biggest achievement?
Yeah, look, I mean, the obvious one for me is impact. When we first started, I was, very passionate about, we see ourselves in the business of transformation and really creating this opportunity to improve people's lives. And so for me, it was like, how can I personally impact people as a teacher?
Yep.
And I can only teach so many people. And now we've got so many teachers that the impact is not lost on me, the effect that we can have on individuals.
Beautiful.
But I think the thing probably that's, less obvious is that I'm most proud of is probably being a role model, particularly for my own children. I've got a young son and daughter, and even a lot of our teachers, females, they're quite young. And I think that, gender inequality, is a really hot topic at the moment. And I think, the biggest impact I can have is being a great role model for my children. Fantastic. And for them to see a mum who's, chased her own goals, who's very passionate, who's, really leading a business that is about, creating an impact in the community.
Yep.
That I'm hoping that I'm making a really positive impact on them, and that, hopefully my son equally, or more important for my son, that he grows up with, no gender bias.
Yeah.
And does see that, when you put your mind to it, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve.
Yeah.
So I think, on a personal level, that's probably the greatest thing that I am proud of.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the business and the journey today.
Thank you.
What's the best way people can find out more about Upstate?
Yeah, so obviously social media, Upstate Studios, and our website, upstatestudios.com.au as well.
Beautiful.
And come in and try a class. When are you coming in?
Well, I'll let Christy have a go first, but absolutely. I mean, that introductory offer, what is it?
Yeah, so it's $59 for 30 days of unlimited classes.
Wow,
How
sounds
good's that?
Too good to be true.
Oh, yeah.
Gail Asbell from Upstate Studios, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
See you at the Clever and Creative event.
Awesome. Look forward to it.
See you next time.